Wake up!
What is dark matter?
Okay, we don't know.
That's great. That's why it's called dark.
It's exactly.
Everyone knows all reputable information comes from random people on the internet. Tell me things, internet. The earth is flat. It's like school in your hand.
Okay, dark matter is something we do not know what it is. We believe that dark matter is there, but we have never detected it. Well, what I'm afraid of course, is that there is no dark matter out there.
There was one?
There is no dark matter out there. We need to think really hard.
Well, it's Wednesday. I'm pretty sure I've got internet. Everything looks green on my end. I'm still avoiding music just to be on the safe side. OBS is still playing strange audio on the scene collections that I've created, so I've had to start from scratch and sort of build one on the fly. So we are here. Good morning, gentlemen. How in the hell are you?
Hey there, Josh. Hey there, Walter.
Howdy ho, howdy.
They're getting rained on, like, for days now.
That's no good.
My first wet days at work.
How's that going?
Not too bad. First day it was like pitter patter. You know, it would evaporate before you could even feel it, you know. And then yesterday it was pretty heavy, so they canceled a bunch of jobs. But I got to go, there's still a couple crews that there's only 2 guys working on, and usually they're all 3-man crews. So I sent in a message real quick, like, hey, if any of those 2-man crews need another flagger. And like 2 minutes later, he sent back, he's like, yeah, you can go work with Unc.
Nice.
So it was an easy day. One of those, go out, sit around for a little bit, shoot the shit. Couldn't get back in the yard because it was so wet. Got paid for it.
Can't beat that.
Had 2 trucks fall through my fingers this week. Over the weekend this week, yeah. I was heading out to go see one. And the guy called. It was like an hour away. He was like, hey, man, someone's test driving it right now. They seem pretty interested. I'll call you back if they don't get it.
And never called.
All right. No.
That sucks.
Yeah.
You'll get the right one when it's time.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's what I keep telling myself. It'll happen when it's supposed to with the right truck. I'm waiting for him to send a message out right now. It's been raining like crazy. Looks like it's going to rain all morning out in Gaffney, where I'm supposed to be working. And it's with the road crews. Trying to lay asphalt in the rain probably ain't, I don't know. They usually shut it down. We'll see what happens. How are you guys doing?
Good here, as well as can be expected. Our weather has been pretty, this time of year, it's usually a roller coaster. One day it's nice and cloudy and rains enough to keep it cool, and then other days it clouds up and rains just enough to make it hot and sweaty. So you never know what it's going to do. No rain yesterday, so that was a change. But yeah, we've been getting pretty wet.
We're like a high of 66 degrees yesterday.
Dang, yo.
Yeah, it's been much cooler with this storm front that came through. We couldn't have any in the middles, some like 80 degrees and just regular days. Nope, it goes from like 100 to 66 and raining. Yeah, I can't complain though. It ain't negative 10, so I'm not going to complain. If it hits negative 10 down here, you will definitely be hearing me complaining a lot.
Yeah, we're going to get rain today. That's what I was thinking. It was a break yesterday, so it must be going to get it back on us today, and it will. Most of the day, it looks like. A little break in the afternoon, but then evening again. So, which sucks. I had been wanting to see some of the meteor showers that are happening right now. Some of them with my phone that does space stuff now. So sky has not been agreeing. Like I said, even if it's not raining, it's still cloudy-ish, especially at night. So now that being said, I really haven't noticed an excessive amount of trails up there. So that's always a plus. Always a plus.
You guys been paying attention to that show called U.S. Politics at all lately?
Not at all.
Not a whole lot.
Yeah.
Not at all.
It's getting insane. A bunch of House members in Texas. The Democrats are going to lose this vote. I don't even remember what the vote. Oh, it has to do with the seats. How many House seats there are and which districts and yada. You know, because there's been such a huge swing back to the right as far as how many counties voted Republican and this and that and yada, yada. The numbers just went crazy this last election. So they're saying that, and with all the people moving into Texas as well, it's changing how many seats there are and this and that and which, you know, side is going to get those seats. I think there's 5 extra seats or something like that. There's something to do with that. I could be totally wrong about, but it's got something to do with the number of seats. Well, the Democrats we're going to lose this vote. So they decided we're just not going to show up to vote. We're going to skip town and we're going to leave the state. Well, I guess in Texas, that is a felony. So they have the Texas state troopers out looking for these, whatever, their Congress or state Senate, or I don't even know. I'm not sure. I guess we can go look into it. Trump says Republicans are entitled to 5 more seats in Texas redistricting. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, I don't care what Trump said. Really? That's all you're going to say about it? And then you mentioned some ballroom that's being built.
Yeah, the ballroom.
Yeah, they had fled the state to stall passage of the new map that's being set out. Because they say the Republicans are entitled to 5 more seats. So yeah, and they have the FBI, because once they leave Texas, the Texas state troopers can't really, that's no longer their jurisdiction. So I guess the FBI is involved as well. And yeah, it's a felony. So, and that Texas governor came out last night. I was watching them talking about, yeah, we're going to take this one. Yeah, we're going to hold them accountable for their actions. Yada, yada, yada.
That's also where the federal marshals can come into play as well.
Well, good morning, sir.
Good morning, everyone.
What up, Andrew?
Andrew B.
Not much. That's actually one of the topics I was going to bring up. You guys beat me to it. And in regards to it, I did see that press conference or whatever it's called in regards to Governor Abbott. And he was basically just saying, like, okay, you're an elected delegate or whatever the fuck it's called, and you have a certain position to fulfill during this time of like an election or whatnot, or a vote. And if you're not going to fulfill that, that means it's dereliction of duty, which means you're going to just be removed
AWOL.
from that position.
Yeah, you went AWOL.
Yeah.
But it would be in the military, right?
Yeah, well, AWOL is absent without authorized leave, which becomes completely, well, if after 1 day it's AWOL, and then after 30 days it's UL, and I'm sorry, no, AWOL is 30 days. Correct me if I'm wrong, Josh. I'm getting mixed up on. Anyways, after 30 days, you're considered a deserter, in which case, then they can send out the police to try and find you. And my cousin did that. He served 30 days in the brig for it. Didn't even get discharged.
Well, no, that's kind of what you want, isn't it? It just seems like you're rewarding bad behavior if you discharge them for going AWOL.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to be in military prison. It's like being in like solitary confinement. And I wouldn't. Anyways, yeah, I think that it's going to be becoming a nothing burger. Like a lot of this stuff is like, oh yeah, lock up the Clintons kind of situation. And even though a lot of people want that to happen, and it should happen, but nothing ever actually happens because of all of this different stuff that is testament to what has been going on throughout the last several years. So the more serious it seems, I think the less it's going to actually happen.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird to say that. It's like counterintuitive to a certain
Like
extent.
Obama facing treason charges? Or, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even if he came out and said, yep, I'm guilty, come and get me, bitch.
Yeah.
Like, probably like nothing's going to happen. Oh, I was just telling a joke.
hmm But that's another part of the crazy show that's happening. Like they're going after him for the Russian collusion stuff in 2016. Like after Trump won. They're saying that Obama ordered people to find Russian collusion or something like that. Yada, 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 yada. And then old Bill and Hillary were subpoenaed in the congressional Epstein probe. They've opened up a grand jury. Is that what it's called? When they, like, we don't get to hear what happens in there and all that kind of stuff. It's a closed whatever. But yeah, it's all about the Epstein probe, and Bill and Hillary were subpoenaed. So yeah, the show is going wild right now. They're wanting us to watch all this stuff. Something's going on. Something big's going on.
Yeah, it's the soap opera for everyone else that really cares about it. But everyone else is like myself. I think everyone here is like just looking back and being, like treating it like a comedy show, not a soap opera or reality.
And 8 other individuals who have been subpoenaed. To a congressional committee investigating the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. This committee is information about Epstein's history after President Donald Trump's administration decided against releasing more federal files on the dead financier. Blah, 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 outrage, rump, rhubarb, golf. Blah, 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 subpoenas. Yeah, I'm looking for the other 8 names, but they're not. They're just going to mention the Clintons.
Isn't it so interesting that at the same time this kind of thing is happening is right in the middle of what a lot of people, including myself, would say this is in midst of World War III, but they're trying to keep it quiet.
Yeah, look over here. Look over here. Don't pay attention to all this crazy stuff happening in the Middle East right now. You notice how they're in our news, really, at least the stuff that's being pushed down my throat. I'm not seeing any talk about Israel and Iran anymore or any of that stuff. Or Ukraine, Russia, either. Like, that's just not happening here in the States anymore. At least on all the stuff. And that's all I saw for months.
Stand there.
Kitty.
Yeah,
Wow.
I was trying to give y'all some kitty cam, and she decided it was going to be full on everything. Produce, switch screens. She had it. She said, I got this.
Okay, I found the names. So along with the Clintons, former attorneys, General Merrick Garland, Loretta Lynch, Eric Holder, and Alberto Gonzalez were summoned. Along with Jeff Sessions, William Barr, who both led the Justice Department during Trump's first term, and former FBI, it says surrectors. I'm thinking it's supposed to be directors, but I don't know. Former FBI, whatever, James Comey and Robert Mueller were also subpoenaed. Wow. Trump's going after all of them. Yeah, this is so bad. Like, if I didn't think it was a show, I'd definitely be saying, harump, harump, harump. This is, using the justice system against your political enemies. This is not supposed to be going on, folks. This is children at the playground. Now, I brought the ball today, so I'm in charge of who gets to play.
Right.
That's what we're watching.
You don't like it, I'm going to take my dolls and go home.
Mm-hmm.
Like Cartman.
Pathetic.
Screw you guys. I'm going home.
Exactly. Being governed by a bunch of children. What's that one movie? With Eric the Viking? Is it called Eric the Viking?
It is called Eric the Viking. Yes.
I gotta watch that. I bet Cami would like that.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Ragnarok and Valhalla and
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
This is where you got to have Ben Balderson on. Because he would probably have about a 3-hour lecture on that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's been doing some amazing out there on his property.
I haven't heard from him in a while. I haven't seen him doing any live streams or anything.
I know he's been busy. I see him in the chats from time to time.
Yeah, I got to meet him in Vegas because I was manning Jaron and Dave's table as they were busy, and he was right next to me. I was like, "Oh shit, man, how you doing?" And gave me a handshake, and I was like, "I got a pretty strong grip." Like, holy shit, man, he's got like machine hands.
Yeah, dude, he is a strong man.
Yeah, he operates on another level.
Yeah, he's got that farmer strength. There's weight room strength, and then there's farmer strength.
Yeah.
Farmers
Indeed.
don't look big and strong and got the big giant muscles, but they just do it. They'll figure out a way.
Just do it.
Here's another.
Some of the smartest, strongest people I've ever met. Farmers.
Yeah, they're survivors. I've never shaken hands with an Amish guy before, but I'm pretty sure that even though my grip is really fucking strong, I use a hand gripper pretty regularly, but yeah, those Amish guys are...
You'll get a date one day.
It's because they don't shake hands with the English.
Yeah,
I'm Irish.
I was just about to say that. I've met Amish like 2 or 3 times, like to where we're standing around actually talking. And no, they don't. They're not like that with us. With each other, yeah. But with us, no. my buddy worked with two Amish guys, and they didn't like him, and they realized that after the first couple days, and he worked with them for like 6 months. They didn't say a word to him that didn't have to do with work for 6 months.
Wow.
They shunned him. That's what the Amish do. They're not going to talk trash. They're not going to try to beat you up or this. They pretend like you don't exist. And that's
like
how
the
they
worst
say,
part of an Amish community, that they'll shun you. You're no longer associated with the church. You no longer receive help, and you pretty much just have to go on your way as a wanderer, which is pretty fucked up, but their rules are their rules.
and that's how they treat us. Like if they don't like us, we don't exist anymore in their world.
Yeah. And they really don't have much to do with us, the English, as they call us. They like to sell things to us. It's almost a little small hattish.
Really high prices too, but people pay.
It's really good quality stuff, though.
Yeah, it's worth a high price generally. Almost.
Yeah.
Almost that high price.
Handmade with hand tools, no electric anything. Yeah. They know how to get it done.
I will fully admit this, that I know that the Amish women are not allowed to ever cut any hair on their body of any sort, but they're fucking beautiful. They're healthy. And they were selling us jams, and basically it was jams at a farmer's market in Fredericksburg, Virginia. And I was like, holy, my girlfriend, Amy, she said, oh yeah, the Mennonites are going to be there at this farmer's market. I was like, oh, you mean a market? Here in California, we have farmer's markets every single weekend. But it's like once a month or something over there. Anyways, we went over there and I was like, holy shit, those are the Mennonites? And I had never met them before. I was like, oh, they're fucking beautiful. And so I bought some of their jams off of them. It was like $5 for a small mason jar. Tried it and I was like, holy shit, this is what real food tastes like? Or real jam?
Yep. Yeah, we had a store, probably my favorite store in the world. It's called Granny's Market in Toto, Indiana. No joke, on the Yellowstone Trail. And the guy that wrote The Wizard of Oz was from Indiana, and that's why we got the name of the dog Toto. But the Yellowstone Trail is a real trail that goes all the way from, I believe, the state of Washington over to New York. And that's where he got the idea for The Wizard of Oz and the Yellow Brick Road and yada, 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 yada. But back to the matter at hand, Granny's Market. Like 90% of, well, not 90, we'll say 60% is Amish jellies and jams, candies, cheeses, and different types of meats. And that's like over half their store. And then the homemade ciders, all the different ciders that they make in the big glass gallon jar. And none of this stuff is like plastic, right? You're not going to get any of it in these plastic. Like you buy a jug of apple cider, it comes in a gallon jug. That's a glass jug. Man, it's so good. But yeah, the favorite store, Granny's Market. People would come from, I think it's been around since the 40s. And the people who buy it just buy it and keep the name because it's such a well-recognized name, and people come from all over to get their plants and stuff from there. And then right down the road from it, about 25 miles to the west, you have what's called Shipshewana, where they have an Amish outlet mall. There is such a place. I'm sure there's some in Pennsylvania and Ohio. That's where most of the Amish are located around the northern Midwest into Pennsylvania. But yeah, all the Amish bring all their stuff together to one place, and they have all their furnitures there. And dude, people come from like hundreds of miles away to go to Shipshewana just to buy Amish furniture and Amish this and Amish that. Because like we were saying, it is some of the best made stuff that you can buy.
Yeah, they build it to last. It's not IKEA bullshit.
Yeah,
it doesn't have a stamp on it that says made in fucking Malaysia or China or something.
Yeah. Not a fiberboard. No, they use solid oak. Where it should be, where we would do a 1 inch, they do it 2.5 inches. Or 2 inches. Just to make it thicker and stronger.
There was a furniture store right down the street from where I grew up in Fremont, California. And it was called Hoot Jukin's Furniture. And they were in business for quite a long time. And I was in the process of wanting to buy some furniture. I walked in there. I was like, holy shit. IKEA is like 1/3 the price. So my dumbass went to IKEA and then regretted it within a year. And my dad ended up buying some furniture. His kitchen table, even though my dad, 35 years as a finished carpenter, a cabinet maker, he's like, yeah, this is high quality stuff. They know what the fuck they're doing. And they still have that table.
Oh, yeah. No, it'll last you your whole life and probably your children's life. It's crazy, that Amish stuff.
Well, it's really interesting, too.
Do they deliver barns? No, but they'll put one up in like a day.
I was just about to say that. Barn raising. What they do is, I've watched every single Amish documentary that I can possibly find on the internet. And what the women have basically said is that they're not allowed to participate in that. What they're preparing is the food for all the men. And when they ring the fucking bell, that means it's time to eat, and you put down your tools and you go to eat. And everyone gets to eat and enjoy that, like tons of pies. I guess they love pies, and mashed potatoes and meatloaf. And they slaughter their own animals. They grow their own potatoes, and that's a very good way to live, in my opinion, because Dr. Thomas Cowan, I'm pretty sure you guys have probably all seen him before, and he's a retired family doctor now, and he actually said this to me, and I'm trying to follow it, even though it's very difficult. He said, don't ever eat anything with a nutritional label. Just to think about that for a moment. Like, oh shit, huh? Kind of makes sense, because when you slaughter an animal, it doesn't have a nutritional label on it.
But what if you buy things that are packaged and labeled for individual, that are not packaged and labeled for individual sale?
I don't know how to respond.
Imagine a bag of fun-size Snickers. The bag has a label, but each individual fun-size Snickers bar has no label on it, because they're not meant to be sold individually. So you have to put the label on the bag, not the individual food itself.
Okay, well,
the question is, does that count? Can I still have my fucking Snickers?
Yes, Josh. Let me go ahead and call up Dr. Cowan and find out for you. He's probably going to say no. I haven't had a candy bar in 8 to 10 years or something. You guys are getting pretty close to the break. I don't want to hijack it, but I do have 2 other topics to bring up.
Oh, just bring them on up. I don't think we're taking a break.
Break is not really whatever. There was a question in chat real quick, though. I believe Sketchy was asking about the difference between jam and marmalade.
And preserves and jelly?
Mistaken. Yeah, I think marmalade is strictly like a citrus thing, right? And then jelly is the fruit juice, and then jam is going to have like your seeds and chunks of stuff in it. At least growing up, that's what I remember.
Yeah, it's mostly about the way you prepare them.
Right, the different cooking it down, or straining it, or not straining it, or
Was marmalade a citrus? I thought it was just the size of the chunks.
I thought it was just citrus. I may be wrong. Let me go find out.
No sense in all three of us Googling the same fucking thing.
Marmalade uses whole or cut bitter Seville oranges. I don't know if that's what
So only marmalade is made from
marmalade
citrus
is a
Seville
type of
oranges.
preserve made specifically from citrus fruits, including the peel, which gives it a slightly bitter, chunky texture.
Yeah,
Yeah,
when I made it, I definitely used the peel. I remember that in the marmalade. Yeah, it's weird.
It's kind of like champagne being different than, marmalade is apparently a regional thing or something here from what I'm reading. Spain, Portugal,
Citrus
Seville
based.
oranges. Yeah. But you can get marmalade made out of whatever grandma's cabinet if she made some. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. And jams are used. Those are more like berries, stone fruit, or even tomatoes. Just cooked with a lot of sugar.
Yeah, it's chunky versus a jelly, which uses gelatin. And I hate jelly. It's disgusting, in my opinion. I will never eat that stuff again. But jams, I haven't had that in a long time either, but I would still prefer that over jelly.
I made
Yes, it
pear
depends
butter
on-
one time. There's so much water in pears. It took like 4 hours to cook out the water, and it was still way watery, like real thin. But I was just done cooking it.
Keyboard. Well, you got to be.
If you got 8 hours, it probably would have taken 8. If you've got a bunch of pears, make some pear butter for yourself. Put a little bit of not cinnamon. What's the other one? Some cloves. Just a couple cloves in there with a little bit of nutmeg. Oh my goodness! I had buddies wanting to fight over the last jar. Who was going to get it? I only made it one time though, because it was just so. Most of them you get it done in an hour and a half tops. Strawberries might take a little bit longer. But those pears, man, I was done. I was just done.
I can tell that right now, Zach, you are starting to salivate a little bit.
Yeah. I was picturing all the pear butter and the strawberry preserves and
Well, even apple butter takes freaking forever.
mm-hmm.
That's like a big thing down here in the autumn is a big apple butter pressing and cooking. And
I did 7.5 gallons one year. Lady had a tree, giant apple tree that she never did anything with. Had huge apples on it. It was old apple tree. Big old, not like the ones you see in the orchard, those little small. This was like a big tree, just apples everywhere. And she's like, no, if you can come over and grab buckets full if you want. And I did. Yeah, I was making apple butter for like a week and a half every day.
Here's my question to a lot of people, and even people in the chat. Peanut butter. Obviously, they're not using 100% peanuts, because if you actually grind down peanuts and then try to fill up a peanut jar like that and then just put them on the grocery shelf, that would be millions and billions of peanuts having to be grown regularly. So, like, even if it's chunky. So I know it says it has peanut oil, and canola oil, or whatever the fuck else. And I love peanut butter, by the way. But how the fuck do they make it so abundant? It's not all peanuts. It's guaranteed.
There's a lot of peanut farms out there.
There are indeed a lot. In fact, you mentioned not having eaten a candy bar in however many years, and I myself had not eaten candy bars in quite a while, and saw I don't know. It was like at one of the farmer markety things we had stopped at one afternoon going to the garage sales, and they had a little candy dish sitting there, and there was a little tiny Milky Way, little tiny one, not even the fun size, even the smaller, tiny, almost square shaped ones that are like
the bite-sized bullshit.
Bite. Yeah. So I grabbed one. I was like, wow, I hadn't one of these in a while. I threw it in my mouth, and it literally tasted like I had bitten into a Snickers bar or another peanut variety chocolate bar, even though it had no peanuts in it. I'm assuming that's because every facility now, does so much peanut processing for all the different peanut things that everything tastes like fucking peanuts now. Every candy bar must taste like. Where you at, Sherry? I saw you in chat. Is it all taste like peanuts now? Is that what's going on with chocolate? Because my thing with chocolate was once it became wax and it didn't melt in my fingers anymore, then it was like, what am I doing this for? I can eat chocolate. I mean, I can eat wax lips and get the same effect here. This isn't chocolate any longer. So. But yeah, as far as the peanut butter thing, I mean, you can scoop a scoopful of like whatever nut you pick it at some stores and throw it in a big grinder and grind your own peanut butter or cashew butter or almond butter or whatever butter you want to grind up and right there in your right there in the store. So I mean, I don't know as far as I get what you mean as far as the processing, making it so smooth and so whatever, but yeah, it just
right. But then
there's
also
a lot of peanuts.
They come in a shell, which, I mean, is there a machine that's going to crack all those? Sort of like if you're going to get pistachios that are deshelled, like what kind of machine is used for that? Or is it just a whole bunch of people on an assembly line just cracking with their fingers or some tool or something, just doing that like 24 hours a day?
Retired circus elephants. I'm pretty sure that's because they work for peanuts.
Yeah, down here in the
broken shells and kernels are then separated using a combination of screens, airflow, and sometimes manual inspection to remove undersized or split kernels and other debris from the peanuts.
So they're saying it just got muted and the sound is gone.
Oh. So it's not the music. Great. We can start playing music.
No, everything's good. So, everything's good. I just changed scenes, and that was the issue. There was a discussion of Castorium in the chat, and I just pulled up a screen share. And when I switched over to share the screen, because there's no audio there, apparently now I have to set up audio for every fucking scene.
Thank you, Sherry.
Well, I was going to just share a quick little video. It's like 57 seconds long. It has to do with the Amish, because these guys I respect quite a bit.
And for the record, the Mennonites actually do use some power tools and things like that, electricity. Mennonites aren't quite
very
Amish.
Limited.
They're like Amish
Very
light.
limited. Yeah.
Don't they wear colors, the Mennonites? Or Amish pretty much stick to brown and off-white?
I think they're still pretty muted in their wardrobe. They just have tractors in the field.
What the fuck is going on here? I can't share this.
Yeah,
I know the
I'm seeing it.
You know why the Amish use brown?
Because it's an easy dye.
Yep, walnuts. When they're processing their walnuts, they're boiling that husk, that big, thick green husk. I found a walnut tree. You know, like they're almost gone across the country. They used to be everywhere. And they're slowly getting rid of a lot of the nut trees. But the walnut husk, when you boil that green thing off, it'll turn brown. And then it turns into their dye, which it'll dye your hand for days. And you get that dye on your hands. It's like a really strong dye. But yeah, walnuts.
So here is an Amish barn raising, and it's in fast forward, obviously. Boys as young as 12, men as old as 70 are participating in this, and they all do it, and you can see it in fast forward, and they get it done in a couple hours. You'll see this is what it takes to be a man in the Amish community.
But yeah, they're not in a union.
Yeah, fuck them.
They get that shit done now.
It took about 30 men 12 hours to put up this 32 by 48 foot barn in the Wisconsin town of Clinton for Leslie Cast, whose previous barn was blown down by a storm. He would repay the men with a year's rent-free use of the barn. The Vernon County men make up the state's largest Amish community. Barn raising has been an Amish tradition for hundreds of years and can involve as many as 150 men. They're contacted only through word of mouth when a barn in the community needs to be raised.
It's amazing what a group of people can do, and they're dedicated and put their mind to it. That's a big barn too. That's not your one to store the old riding lawnmower, maybe a couple other things. That's a real barn.
Yeah, they all come together and work together. It's a community.
And that barn ain't going to fall over anytime soon.
Yeah. Well, the previous one, they said fell over because of what, like a hurricane or something?
Yeah, they said it got blown over in a storm. I mean, eventually, you give a barn long enough, of course, everything falls down eventually. But yeah, it's going to be standing there a while.
Yeah, they cut down their own trees. They have their own sawmills. And for the most part, yeah, it's done by hand. There's another thing in regards to the Amish. This is kind of a side note. This is one of the topics I was going to bring up. Food stamps. Have you guys heard about the whole food stamp thing, the EBT?
Oh, yeah. People are flipping out because Trump's saying you got to have a 40-hour job now to get food stamps. No more healthy, able-bodied people just sitting around doing nothing, collecting money from the government. I don't see anything wrong with that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, I think we should get rid of the program entirely, because if people are just going to say, I'm going to, oh, fuck, well, maybe not entirely. Like if someone gets out of prison after a while and they're like, shit, I don't have a job, maybe for like 6 months, they can get that. They have to be gainfully employed like very quickly, or they have to pay the money back or something like that, which probably still wouldn't work. But that the thing is,
I mean, there are single moms out there working, 40-hour jobs that can't pay the bills. I grew up with one of them. Now, we were on food stamps, I think, for like 9 months. And then she got a raise and this and that, so we got off of it. But I remember it was rough before that. And that 9 months, it really made it a lot easier for my mom to put food on the table. Like, no joke. I remember this one night, it was getting real hard. And she had $3 to feed all three of us, me, her, and my little sister. So, I mean, it's a real thing. There's people out there that work hard. My mom didn't drink. She wasn't doing drugs or anything like that. You know, my dad just skipped out and she was all alone. And so there are people out there, I get it, that this is needed. There are people out there that are working and trying that just don't make enough to support, you know, the financial burdens that they have. And they need a little help. I don't mind my taxes going to help those people that are trying. But the people that turn 18, never apply for anything, and just get on food stamps right away, no, that's not what it's for. Not at all. And that needs to stop.
Yeah, because I think that's one of the Doge things. I think that was being addressed because a lot of people have been idiotically posting videos of them at the grocery store buying just absolute shit food. And
straight
they come
pop.
home
They'll
and
spend more on pop than people will be like, I could feed my whole family for a week on what they just spent on soda right there. I could feed family of 4 for a whole week just with the soda that they bought. That's probably going to last them a week and a half, 2 weeks. She's like, this is crazy. Why are we paying for this? But yeah, they're actually removing certain drinks and stuff like that from the food stamp benefit thing. Like, you can't go buy junk food so much anymore.
Apparently, there was a way that you could get your nails done and hair did while using your Snap card.
all right, Josh, a little bit of innuendo.
There's one lady.
No, well, no. I mean, it's a common phrase I use. It wasn't meant to be an innuendo at all.
This one lady was buying nothing but straight pop, the cheapest pop, because she lived in one of those states where you could return it for 10 cents. You know, you return that bottle or that can, and you get 10 cents back. So she went and spent all her food stamp money to buy this one certain kind of pop so she could go out at the grocery store in the parking lot and dump all the cans out right there. And then go take that and turn it in to get $15.
Oh, I saw that. That was a while back. But
it was like $120 worth of pop, something crazy like that, so she can get $15 in cash. That's how she was spending her food stamp money.
It's such a burden on society at this
now,
moment.
that person, I think, should have to pay back that money. They obviously didn't need it. Not that bad.
So I have a
Never
buddy
signed up for it.
that he applied for EBT. He was kind of down on his luck, and I was like, hey, man, you can go over here, chill at my place for as long as you need to, and no rent. I mean, I'll pay for food and all that kind of shit, but head down to the Social Security office. I'm sorry, Social Services office, and go apply for EBT. You know, he's a white male in good physical condition. He had a drug addiction, so he was on meth. I'll just flat out say that. And I said, if you smoke meth one time here, you're out the moment that I find out. And he applied, and he got approved that day. He said it took him like 2 hours as I waited out in the parking lot. He's like, yeah, I'm homeless. Like, can you receive mail? Yeah, at my buddy's house, Andrew Baker. And they're like, oh, okay. So what are you doing there? Like, well, I'm sleeping on his couch, which he literally was doing. And boop, there you go, $200 a month for 1 year. Wow, maybe I should go tell them I'm homeless. Just get fucking free money. And I'm sure that a lot of people are doing that exact same thing. And that's what I think a lot of these migrants are doing that are coming into the country. They say, oh, yeah, okay, here you go. And I think these social service workers, a lot of them should be fired. They're worthless government employees that are doing nothing other than just handing out money to people that don't actually need it. Because Chris didn't actually fucking need it. I could have paid for everything. But he still got it, and then he fucking moved out a week later because he was tired of my rules.
Those darn pesky rules.
I know, like, fucking don't leave a mess in my fucking kitchen.
In the kitchen.
Yeah.
Where am I supposed to smoke it then?
This dude walking to the bathroom when I'm shooting meth. Well, you said I couldn't smoke it.
Well, I mean, I was at work the whole time, and I said, hey, here are your things to do throughout the day. Sleep in, get some good rest, get over the addiction kind of thing. And when I get home, I expect these different things to have, and like, here's a whole bunch of fucking weed. I can smoke it away. I don't give a shit. Just don't do any meth. But no, that didn't work out. And then the other topic that I had, see where the fuck is it? Okay, so I'm not sure if you guys are aware of this. This is something that's been in the news a little bit lately. I mean, I don't watch the news. I just hear this in bypassing when it comes to other people that are reporting on it. And Somalians. Well, in Minnesota, right now, there's a situation that happened. A Somalian man, I think he's 40 years old. He did this on purpose. It was first-degree sexual assault on a 12-year-old white girl in Minnesota. He basically kidnapped her, and then there's no extreme detail to the case yet, but I think he sodomized her and raped her, and he got 10 years in prison for it. Actually, no, I think it was reduced to 8 years. You guys think that would be a legitimate thing? He's been for 21 years. It's a grotesque situation.
I don't think people that do that should ever get out.
And I don't even want to pay for their fucking meals and the roof over their head. I think that's a unreasonable request.
Put them on an island.
I don't know.
Yeah, and there was I
don't even want to pay for the fare to get them there.
They were the Somali community, the Islamic Somali community, were defending him, saying he shouldn't get any prison time at all and should just be put on probation. Like an entire community, like a church or something, however many people it was. And they had lawyers involved. That's why his sentence went down from life without parole to 8 or 10 years or something. It's fucked up. Sorry, not trying to bring it down to low vibes. So for the time being, I do have to go down to my garage. I will be listening, but I'll be on mute.
I don't think there's any reason he would need to continue to draw breath.
Concurs, Josh.
What's that?
Oh, Hank concurs.
Hank concurs.
Yeah.
F that dude.
Right. F that dude.
Forfeited those rights.
Big old boy.
Well, I mean, there is a zoo in Denmark who was looking for people to perhaps donate any extra guinea pigs or chickens or rabbits or any kind of unwanted smaller animal, maybe pet, things like that, to help feed the big animals, the lions, the tigers, the bears.
Oh, my.
So perhaps there's a way to work both these situations out. The not wanting to have the tax burden of our, criminal system there.
The tax burden, shit, we can make money. You just put that on video. There's all kinds of sickos out there.
Right, there would be.
That's an airfare I would probably pay, or at least a boat fare. You would have set up that island, Zach, and just load it full of fucking apex predators and then child predators and see who comes out on top.
Jewish predators, the bad boy. Huh?
Just running trail cams 24/7.
And I don't think it would even take that long. I think, because most of these people are cowards, that's why they prey on children. I think just seeing that this was taking place would put a kibosh on so much of this going on out there. I mean, over the last 30 years, the prison sentences have got weaker and weaker and less for people who do this kind of horrible, wicked thing. So let's set the precedent that we're going to start going the other way.
Well, this is another thing that brings up current events. Like the only really good way, I think it might put a bit of a curtail on that sort of behavior. But I think with the internet and the anonymity of the internet and the access along with the anonymity on the internet, it would still be a problem.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, you could somehow force everyone to identify before they hit these websites.
Which they are doing.
Spotify, I heard, is even taking on upload your ID or do some shit. I don't use Spotify, but they're supposed to be working on some new digital ID for you to have to register with and prove who you are in order to use Spotify, because Spotify has adult content. Podcasts, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, they're doing this
Cardi
with all
B.
kinds of stuff.
Yeah, and it's apparently going to be hitting everywhere.
They're talking about doing this for YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think I'd just be ready to unplug almost completely. Like, all right, you jumped the shark, I'm done. And just go to crusading. Everybody else do the fucking same. You're all a bunch of digital slaves.
Sitting on my porch with my shotgun, lemonade. Counting the cars going by.
Something odd is happening with the internet. And one of the things that I've been using, my search browser is Presearch, which I'm going to probably get off of and start using Brave instead. But either way, Spaceballs 2 is in production right now. And Mel Brooks is 99 years old. So I typed in his name. And I just wanted to see what he looks like nowadays. And it had this little thing like, oh, are you over the age of 18? Like, yeah. And then it would show me the pictures. I was like, it's fucking Mel Brooks. What the fuck do you think I'm trying to do?
Freak.
But, oh yeah, that's exactly what I was trying to do. Yeah. But, I mean, he's still looking pretty good for 99 years old. And it does that with a lot of things now. Like I've typed in some really weird things on the internet, and it's like, oh, are you over the age of 18? I'm like bubblegum? What? maybe that can be misconstrued to something else as well. But yes, age verification I think is very important, because I think if a lot of people that are not experiencing, like, I don't know, I didn't know what bestiality was until I was like 26. Unfortunately, I know what that is now. And like, what the fuck? But kids about the age of 10 will figure that out pretty quick. Unless their parents are going to be monitoring and basically controlling their internet. I don't think children should have a cell phone until they can afford it themselves. That's my opinion. And then the parents should still be monitoring that cell phone. I didn't have a cell phone until I was 20. One of my biggest pet peeves is that because of where I work in Silicon Valley, it's just a whole bunch of fucking tech nerds all over the place. And 90% of the people around here, as soon as they are able to, their phone is out of their pocket, or maybe not out of their pocket, it's just in their hand all the time. And all of a sudden they're walking through an intersection, phone in their face. And the green light turns and people are honking at them. Oh no, they have earbuds in, and they'll just flip everyone off. Or in some cases, they get hit by a car, which I saw yesterday. Well, it was slightly hit. And I was like, all right, well, fuck you. Thought it wasn't me that hit you. Otherwise, I would have just kept going. But it's a problem. And I can also see this because I'm a teacher. And yeah, as soon as I say, okay, it's break time, boom, cell phones in their hands. Every single person, except for maybe two, don't have their cell phone in their hand. Like, you can't walk without your phone in front of your face, even though we've had multiple incident reports occur because students have fallen down this stairwell because they couldn't keep their balance.
You can't give like a half a point extra credit every day for the students that don't pull their phones out. But well, you're going to be smarter, so you just get a half point extra credit.
I just guilt trip the fuck out of them.
Yeah.
And
you're assuming they're not breeding sociopaths and that they still operate with things like guilt.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah. They don't have a moral conscience, or here's what I would say to them. Is your personal safety worth less than your cell phone? Well, yeah, absolutely. Like, okay, so then why is your cell phone consistently in your hand causing accidents? It's among OSHA's top 10 accident reports as of 2020.
Yeah, certainly not the fact that, like, you're trying to hook your phone up and then Bluetooth's not hooking up and the navigation's not telling you where to go and the fucking song's not what you wanted to, and now it's unhooked from your Spotify, and now your screen showing you your front left tire is 3 pounds different than your front right tire, and now your car to the right's on the side, so now your light's blinking showing you have a car in your blind spot. Yeah, none of that shit's distracting people from fucking driving. It's definitely the cell phone.
Right. And when I walk into the classroom, I can see exactly what people are looking at. I know this is my rant and my rave, but I'm never going to shut up about it because a lot of people have actually complained. Mr. Baker keeps telling us we shouldn't be on our phones all the time. And guess how that falls on it falls on deaf ears with the upper administration. They're like, yeah, you shouldn't be on your fucking phone all the time, kid. You're 18 years old and you're failing the class because you're never there. And you're complaining about how he's trying to help you. So, but it's not just these young kids that just graduate from high school and then enter a college course. It's the fact that I see people. I work across the street from a Samsung building. Let's put it that way. And yeah, I see people walking across the intersection over there. You know that some of these people are fucking. Most of them are engineers or something like that. Same thing. Intersection, phone in their face. Even if they're walking together. Yeah, no one's paying attention to anyone anymore. It reminds me of I'm not sure if you guys ever saw the movie. Wall-E, the Pixar thing with the robot that is left on Earth after everyone has to abandon Earth because Earth has just basically become a trash dump, and all of the. You guys ever seen the movie Wall-E?
Yes.
Okay, you know what I'm talking about. Where it's just a screen in front of your face consistently.
Yeah, I knew what you were talking about. I just wanted to let you go.
Oh, thank you very much. Now, I'm done for now. I can only rant for so long.
Oh,
But
horseshit.
when it comes,
Everybody got really overweight and out of shape in that movie as well, which is happening. They're doing the whole Trump just restarted the
Presidential fitness test?
Yep. If you want to be considered physically fit, they say over 70% of the young men are not fit for duty. 70% couldn't pass physical requirements to be in the military. That's national security threat right there.
one of the things, Josh, I'm pretty sure you had to do this when you were going through MEPS. I think you joined a little bit before me. I joined in 2000, and you have to do this thing called the duck walk, where you basically just squat down and as far as you can. What they're doing is they're testing your knees and also your spine. And you have to duck walk without standing up. You have to walk forward like 20 paces or something like that, and turn around and do the exact same thing. And then from there, they do all different kinds of physical tests, like, oh, can you do a single push-up? Like that kind of thing. But yeah, I think a lot of people nowadays, I mean, I can still duck walk. I'm almost 43. And yeah, it's pretty pathetic.
How often do you practice?
Every single day.
Nice.
I live on a two-story floor, and which means I have to climb my stairs, and I work in a building that has 2 floors, and I have to walk up the stairs or just take the elevator, which is on the other side of the building. So yeah, I probably climb upwards of, I would say, 2,000 steps per day.
Do you duck walk up and down the steps?
Well, I do 2 at a time, so it's kind of similar. I don't take 1 step at a time. I like to do the 2 steps. And I have extraordinarily strong legs.
Shouldn't you do 2 steps up and 1 step down?
Now you're fucking with me. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always take the stairs. I'm not a fan of elevators.
All right, so anyways, I'm going AFK again. But I have appreciated all of this. And holy shit, it's only 3:08. All right. I'll be AFK for a little bit. I'll be listening, though.
Means I'm going to have to start heading that way. Waiting to see if we're getting rained out before I left. Don't want to leave too early and then have to just turn around. Yeah, I'm enjoying this job. Even after working with the shitty crews, as everybody says, it's cake. This job is so simple. I mean, it's very serious, right? You know, we're dealing with people's safeties and keeping, you got to take it serious and you got to do what you have to do. But once you have the whole zone set up and everything, the hardest thing you're going to have to do after that is flip a paddle back and forth. One side says stop, the other side says slow. That's like the physical demand of the job. I don't understand. These young people do not realize what kind of job they have and what the real workforce is like out there. And they're pissing away this easy job I'm glad I got this job as an older person and not as a young person, because I probably would have been the same. Not realizing what you have. Can't show up for work. Young and dumb. I was there. I hated work so much that I would call off for no reason whatsoever when I was young.
Yeah, we all went through it.
Yeah, can't do that stuff now, you know? That's how you get put on shitty shifts and don't get your hours and this and that and stuff. I mean, any young people out there listening, most jobs, all you have to do is show up on time and put a little bit of effort in, and you'll do okay, you know?
Speed and intensity. Since we're giving unsolicited advice, whilst you're at work, walk as though you have something to do and it needs to be done immediately. The whole shift, when you're going from point A to any other point, walk as though you have something to do and it needs to be done immediately.
Yeah, no lollygag.
Gag on a lolly. I don't give a fuck. I mean, don't run with a lolly because that's dangerous. But move with speed and intensity and gag a lolly if you need to. But move with speed and intensity.
Kids these days, with their cell phones, their rock and roll music.
The bang bang music, as my dad used to call it. I was listening to that bang bang music.
Interesting terminology. So, there's a video out there right now of a young child. He's probably less than 3, I would guess 2 years old, walking, but just. And his mother takes a printout of the ultrasound from when he was, in utero, and shows it to him. And the toddler puts his hands over his ears and says, "Too loud, too loud, too loud." She then puts the picture in a drawer and he goes, "That's better." What the fuck would that mean to you? Is he remembering being in her womb and the sound of the ultrasound being projected in there and him hearing it? Is that perhaps what's happening?
I don't know how that would connect to the photo of the ultrasound.
Good on you. Because there's a thing called synesthesia. And what synesthesia is where you have a basically crossed wire going on there in your brain, like a meshing of the senses, if you will. It's basically like this neurological condition where one neural pathway, sensory activation, travels the wrong way and goes somewhere else. So someone would say the number 6 has always been green for me, or whenever I hear guitar, I smell oranges, or what the fuck ever kind of weird thing. There's a whole like different variety of them. Let me see if I can pronounce any of this. Graph-me color synesthesia means letters and numbers are associated with specific colors. Chromesthesia is sounds trigger visualizations of colors. Lexical gustatory synesthesia means words or sounds trigger specific tastes, which is nuts. and sound to touch synesthesia, where sound produces physical sensations internally in the body.
I don't know a whole lot about this subject, but it's something I've been fascinated with for quite some time. And I think women would be more adept to actually answering it in regards to the foods that they ate, and if they, when they had a child in their womb, and music that was being played around them at the time. And I think that does have it could have a major influence on the child, the development of the child, because I think at a heartbeat, I think is at like 3 weeks or something like that, and something really, really short. And then there's something to do with I can't speak on behalf of this too much, but yeah, I think that there's a very thin layer on the mother's abdomen that the baby is inside of, and that is going to have all those vibrations and those kinetics and things like that are going to be also not just kinetics, but also dietary situations, because the baby's not eating unless the mother eats. So yeah, I think there's a lot of stuff to do in regards to what the mother is doing and the situation she's in, whether she's under stress or not. Then again, I haven't been pregnant. I don't think so. But only women, I think, can actually speak on behalf of that. Or fathers that have dealt with that multiple times with their pregnant wife, girlfriend, or whatever. Or in Walter's case, kitties.
And Walter just got disconnected. Now the game is see how long it takes for Walter to notice and reconnect. He may sit there for a few minutes talking to us. Or he may just pop right back in.
I'm back. Yes, I had an associate there help me with my live production. Hi, kitty, kitty. Hi, kitty, kitty.
Okay,
I try not to leave the cursor floating over the button, and sometimes there's no point in trying anything. They just jump on it with their whole body. Anyway, what, sir?
So I could understand the synesthesia and the picture. But then how does that then relate to this random time at one point in utero when things were really loud? Like, how does that event, that one time in utero when things were really loud,
I think it's more the
connect to the picture?
Triggers it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think it's more that the picture triggers it than the event inside her. That's kind of where I think the story was heading. It kind of didn't really go anywhere meaningful. I think it was more of a reason to get you to go watch a TikTok video than to actually discuss a topic about synesthesia. But that just seems to be the clickbait these days. There's no real stories anymore. Cleo, you're going to have to get out, sweetie. You're going to hang up on me again. Yes, you are. You're so bad. Say bye, everybody. Say bye, everybody. What? You get this one up here, and you get that one on the floor down there. Look, it's a double shot. It's a double shot. 2 kitties. For the price of one. Nobody cares. It's 2 cats, 2 cats, 2 cats in one. Oh, man. So, peacocks can shoot laser beams out their tails.
Oh, all right.
What?
Is this the new Marvel movie?
Evil?
Is that what this is?
No, it's anime. It's an anime show I was watching last night. Oh my God. So yeah, apparently peacock feathers can emit laser beams. The feathers emit 2 different frequencies of light from multiple regions across the colored eye spots of their tail feathers. There you go.
Oh, that makes sense. Oh, yeah, I've seen them do that. Never.
Come on, dude. Wow, this is an interestingly long story for such a bizarre title. Let me see here where I can. Okay, so in the case of peacock feathers, there's a diffractionary grading of prismatic diffracting almost photonic crystals, if you will. That's where the color comes from. But where do we get lasers? That's what I don't understand. I'm going to find it. I'm going to find the laser. Cleo, you're not helping this morning at all, sweetie. You were just not helping it out. You can do all that somewhere else. Come on, get in. Come on. You got to get in. She wasn't happy. So, the regular periodic nanostructure of the barbules, which are fiber-like components composed of ordered melanin rods coated in keratin, produces the iridescent color. Different colors correspond to different spacings of the barbules. This is what physicists call photonic crystals, also known as photonic band gap materials. These crystals are tunable, which means they are precisely ordered in such a way as to block certain wavelengths of light while letting others through. Alter the structure by changing the size of the tiles, and the crystals become sensitive to a different wavelength. In fact, the rainbow weevil can control both the size of its scales and how much chitin is used to fine-tune those colors as needed. So, the perception of color doesn't depend on the viewing angle, and the scales are not just for aesthetics. They can help with, they can help shield from the elements or sulfural types. This is really not going anywhere. Structures and paper, we can use it to foil counterfeiters. What the fuck? There have been prior examples of random laser emissions and everything from stained bovine bones and blue coral skeletons to insects' wings, parrot feathers, and human tissue, as well as salmon iridophores, whatever the fuck that is. The authors of this most recent study were interested in whether they could produce similar laser emissions using peacock feathers and hopefully identify the specific mechanism. It wasn't difficult to get them, I'm guessing that means the feathers, used in the experiments, cut away excess length of the barbules, mounted the feathers on an absorptive substrate, infuse the feathers with different dyes by pipetting the dye solution directly onto them and letting them dry. The feathers were stained multiple times in some areas. They then pumped the samples with pulses of light and measured any resulting emissions. The team observed laser emissions in 2 distinct wavelengths for all the color regions of the feather's eye spot, with the green color regions emitting the most intense laser light. However, they did not observe any laser emission from feathers that were only stained once. So there you go. You have to dye twice, just like tie-dye. The authors were unable to identify the precise microstructure structures responsible for the lasering. It does not appear to be due to the keratin-coated melanin rods, so they don't have a clue. And so I've read this whole fucking story for no reason. Cool. But it made lasers. Whatever the hell. This is from where again? AresTechnica.com. So there you go. Man, I'm trying to get back to the call. There it is. Hello, call.
We're still here.
I couldn't find my little floaty screen. So dinosaurs and oil, right?
Nice transition.
I know, very
Smooth segue.
Yep. So dinosaurs and oil, right? Right? Just some turned into the oil and some didn't. Some turned into the cool little dinosaur bones that we have at the museum, right? Oh, wait, those aren't bones. Those are plaster. Oh, okay. So how did we get oil? I guess the better question is, why did we all think that oil came from dinosaurs? Because we're all stupid, apparently? No, because we were brainwashed by this fucking cartoon as kids. This is why we think dinosaurs are where fucking fossil fuels came from. Because of this cartoon right here. I'm not sharing the sound because we've all seen this. If you're of a certain age and if you're from America, then you definitely saw the fact that the dinosaurs turned into fucking fossil fuels. Show it to us right here. Right here, look, there it is again. Dinosaur turned into what? Fucking gas tank. What's in your gas tank? Fucking dinosaur. So that's why everybody thought dinosaurs is where we get oil from. Guess what?
Brought to you by Chevron.
Well, yeah, but I wasn't going to give them extra money.
Oh.
So yeah, that's why you thought that, but it's not true. It's not true. B.O.B. was wrong. Where does it come from? Anyone?
The shoal.
Anyone?
I think it's the shoal is what people say. It goes down.
So you're getting all that's a word. What is it? Askenasian?
I don't know where the fuck. All I know is that they say that they can find dinosaurs using oil reserves using ground penetrating radar currently. And then they can also use that same technology, which I am highly doubtful of, to find dinosaur remains in different types of areas, which is so fucking easy to just like to fake. But okay, so let's just say what's the largest one? A brontosaurus? Or something even bigger than that, just hypothetically. It dies. Okay. So now it's on the surface of the earth, and there's a whole bunch of dust and over millions of years. How does that turn into oil? And how did it get down so deep? Why are they putting drilling like rigs so deep? Did it really go that deep, even though it's very, very difficult for a lot of electricians to, like myself as an electrician, to pound a ground rod into the ground about 8 feet until we start hitting rock or heavy clay?
Well, the Younger Dryas event, you see, when the asteroid came in and made such a huge impact as to explode up into the atmosphere, all of the debris and dirt and dust, and then it had to settle back down upon the Earth eventually after the nuclear winter.
And is that where the water came from?
Uh-huh. No, I think there was water here. I think there was water here prior to that. Just no dinosaurs.
Oh, we impacted with a water demon or something? Or a water or something?
It was called
a water dinosaur. Oh, now we're getting somewhere.
Now you're getting it. You're pretty close, actually. It's from plankton and algae. That's where oil comes from. Trillions of tiny algae and plankton. That's what geologist Reidar Mueller from the University of Oslo explained.
But only trillions?
Yeah.
Like, I understand humans have a pretty finite brain, and to even comprehend a number like a trillion is a really hard thing to do. However, I feel like it might take a whole lot of plankton to compress enough to become oil, to then become refined enough to become gasoline in my car. I think a tank of gas in itself might be trillions worth of plankton. The idea that I'm not the only driver and that there are probably millions, nay, billions of cars out there requiring this very same thing makes me think that there might have been a few more than just trillions of plankton.
Couple trillion, Josh. Couple trillion for you there, man. Couple trillion. It's just the fucking just the attitude of this whole article. For some strange reason, the idea that oil comes from dinosaurs has stuck with many people. Well, that's because it was fucking put into our heads by TV and school and everything else. Freaking Lost World or whatever it was called. Jurassic Park, that was it. That's why. So as the algae and the plankton, couple of trillion of them, as a couple of trillion of them died. Now this happened tens to hundreds of millions years ago. Tens to hundreds of millions of years ago, Josh, in case your number higher comes back.
No, it's good to know they narrowed that down for us. Much appreciated.
Totally covering it. Well, we don't want to miss out on anything there. So the couple of trillion of the algae and the plankton sank to the bottom of the sea where they accumulated. And they were then buried by layers and layers of sediment. Eventually, after tens to hundreds of millions of years in a high pressure and low oxygen environment, the algae and plankton got cooked. Now, this is in quotation marks, this word, cooked. So I'm thinking maybe Walter White was involved. But anyway, turned into a sticky black oil, which we humans apparently just can't get a fucking enough of.
Which website is this off of?
IFL Science. What else would I be reading such a name dribble from?
I don't apologize, but
I'm saying anytime the story goes this far off into insanity, it's usually going to be IFL Science. They're ones to definitely clickbait your ass away if they can.
Well, I mean, you need to text Jaron, say, hey man, come on to the live stream and tell us about this stuff because we don't know enough. And yeah, I've been talking a lot of shit about Jaron, but only because he deserves it. Anyway.
Yeah, I feel bad for Jaron, to be honest. You seen his numbers lately?
No.
Globebusters Tech had more live people in it than he did.
Oh.
After he had streaming for an hour.
Wow. As the old saying goes, you make your bed and now you have to sleep in it.
Yeah, I know. It's just,
kind of backwards.
Jaron was a big part of my awakening. He was one of the first people that showed me about this stuff. It's just sad to see him, the way he's gone, and everybody has their own choices to make and their own path and all that kind of stuff, but it's just, Jaron and I were never really close. I've said it before. We rarely talked offline. If we weren't on Globebusters, if we were talking, it was a couple minutes before the show. maybe a minute after. Usually it shows over and it's all right, see you guys later, bye. So I never really got close with Jared. Bob did. Bob was real close with Jared. But I didn't. You know, we got along well, I think because we were around the same age. You know, the same kind of humor made us laugh, but no, it's just sad. I'm never one of my great buddies or anything like that, but it's still sad to see. Dave's crushing it though. Dave's still out there. Dude, that guy's, I don't know how he does it. And my job was canceled.
What, because of weather?
Yeah.
Do you get paid for that day?
Nope. I'll still get my 42 hours in. But I'd rather have 53 and a half. But 42 isn't bad. I still make enough to get by 4 days.
Well, you still get overtime, right?
Just the 2 hours. Anything over 40.
Better than nothing.
But they might open up a Saturday crew. I'm hoping. Since this is the second day in a row now that jobs have been canceled out here.
Unless the overtime moves you up into the next tax bracket, in which case they start taking out more and you bring home less than you would have if you didn't work any overtime.
Yeah, luckily it's not quite there. I'm already in that tax bracket. Take it. To get up into the I'd have to go much more up than I'm doing right now. They're wanting me to drive a truck around and all that good stuff. But I'm going to tell them it's going to be $3 more. I need at least $3 more than I'm making now for that responsibility and the paperwork and all the bullshit that comes along with it. I'm worth $3 more. But for $1 more an hour, no, you can take that, shove it. I don't need that.
I'm trying to share my screen right now with my last little piece of space lettuce until I go on mute and let you guys just do your thing.
I was wondering what the hell you was doing.
It's not loading though. I'm not sure if you have to approve it.
Nope.
All right, 1 second.
I don't think so.
I'm not still sharing, am I? No.
No. Like I see the screen broadcast and I see that it's
Yeah, I see
spinning.
it trying to happen. Yeah.
I see it thinking.
Fuck it. I'll just read it out loud, I guess. So I just consider space.com just to be like, it might as well just be, I don't know, Comedy Central or something. And one of the articles today, because of my electrical background, it says that solar farms could help find dangerous asteroids, says a scientist says. Initially, it'll just be a new tool, an augmentation to the existing tool of astronomical, observatories. Okay? But ultimately, it should scale least expensively to the smallest or more distant asteroids. Like, what? Doesn't make sense. It's just a power source. Just install a bunch of fucking generators over there. Be far less. Under a dark, star-streaked sky, scientists at the Sandia National Laboratories in New Mexico are deploying an unconventional tool for planetary defense. The heliostats, that's a new fucking word. I just read it. Okay. Heliostats. A heliostat is a very large, several meters on edge, monitorized mirror that concentrates sunlight on a tower. These are actually illegal. It's called the Condor situation. So I don't know the fuck they're talking about. You're not allowed to do that anymore. It was frying a whole bunch of birds, like mirrors. They were concentrated into a single point. and a bunch of condors were flying through, and all of a sudden the environmentalists got involved. It's like, oh no, we're going to go ahead and use the same thing. We're going to use a different bullshit reason. So, during the day, sunlight concentrated by the many heliostats boil water or melt salt to power electrical generators. What? See, this is how it gets fucking stupid. All right, I'm fucking. This is pissing me off only because of my background on this. This is just fucking retarded. I need to go take a fucking vacation and find out where these people live. Oh, sorry, where they work, and have a meeting with them. Call an HR conference meeting or something. All right, that's all I got for now.
But the salt.
I'm going to see if I can't get on another crew. I'm just sitting at the op center, and I know there's a crew here with only 2 guys. And I left one of my drinks in his truck yesterday, Unk's truck. So I'm going to wait till he gets here just to get my drink and see if he's like, well, jump in, sit down, blah, blah, blah.
Like a day worker at Home Depot. Watch out for ice.
I want to get my truck. 2 trucks that slipped through my fingers because I was at work. One, I had just gotten off work. It was about an hour away, and I was headed there to go look at it, and the guy called. I was like, hey, man, someone's test driving it right now. Motherfucker. Okay, here he is. He's pulling up. I'm just going to go grab my drink.
Good luck.
What the fuck is he doing here? Oh, shit. I'll be right back.
All right. Fingers crossed.
Be careful.
All right. Well, I guess if Zack is leaving, Josh and Walt, I have a question for you. What do you think about perpetual motion machines? Are they possible or just complete fiction?
I mean, I've yet to see one that seemed to work. I've watched quite a few videos of what comes close, but like an actual
and this is why
over Unity.
Yes,
Go ahead.
I think semantics here are important.
Right.
When you say perpetual, what do you mean perpetual? Like in perpetuity? A machine that will, once you start it, just will run forever.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's possible.
Okay.
Or if you're talking about like an over Unity machine, just simply producing more energy than it was put into it, then
Well, that would create perpetual motion. Actually, I have a design for it, but I have to actually build it.
I don't believe that to be true.
Oh, all right. All right. Cool.
You're going to tell me that if you built something as complicated as an over Unity machine, that once you got it running, it's just going to run in perpetuity?
Yeah.
Time will have no effect. There will be zero degradation. There's not going to be any loss there whatsoever as far as mechanical, electrical, or anything will be lost over time.
I know, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that.
Well, then, okay, then not to be semantical, but what do you mean when you say in perpetuity?
What is your perpetual all about, sir?
When it comes to these two different pieces.
Just saying.
What's that?
Zach?
You don't want to get semantical with Josh. Just saying.
No, I totally agree. Josh is very quick-witted on that stuff, but at the same time, we have motors and generators, and motors are converting electrical energy into mechanical energy, and generators are the exact opposite. So what you can do is actually have a DC generator supplied by a battery bank that's basically just powering it up, causing the armature to move, and that's going to create a certain amount of, on a DC motor, not generator. And then from there, what you would have that armature doing with the rotors sticking out of it is you can connect it to 3, 5, it doesn't really matter. Usually like 6 different stators. And then from there, that would create the power generation, which is basically creating a generator and a motor in the same case, feeding back into the motors. And then after that, I hope I don't get killed for even coming up with this, because it's very, very basic stuff. And that would become over Unity. It would keep the batteries consistently powered, and it would run nonstop, as far as I know. But then again, I have to build it. And if I do that and then try to put it out there, I'll probably get like, well, Andrew Baker just committed suicide yesterday from falling off of a bridge. Something like that. I don't want to do that. But I can explain it to you guys. Actually, it seems like a fairly basic thing. And I did speak with Bob about this. And he's like, seems to make sense. Don't do it, though. Yeah, all right. It's just the concept of just electrical engineering principles.
Sorry, sharing the perpetual motion bird. I forgot I don't have to change that. Do that right motherfucking now.
You guys know if there's any like model of car or something like that, or a certain feature you can get where they put the turn signal lever like in the trunk or in the back seat? Have you ever heard anything like that?
Where they do what now?
For some reason, people can't use their turn signal here. Like it's not next to their steering wheel by their hand.
I've never been in a single car where it wasn't right next to my hand on the steering wheel.
I believe that's called facetious. I could be wrong.
Well, I think it's because when in the South, when they drive with their hands at 10 and 2, interestingly enough, it's their left hand at 2 and their right hand at 10. So it's really hard to go all the way over for the turn signal.
Yeah, what is that? 10 to 9? That's a 45 degree. No, is it 45? Yeah, it's a small little shift in your hand. And most people drive with their knees anyways.
Only when I'm rolling a fatty.
I've never
Smoking a bowl.
With my knee.
It's hard to smoke a bowl and steer.
Okay, so my other thing that I've been thinking about in regards to the
You're still sharing, Josh. Just trying to help.
Oh, yeah. At least they can hear us on the YouTube.
Well, that's what I was thinking, is that we were still...
Oh. My screen share doesn't... They... You can't hear it either, but apparently on YouTube's now when I screen share, nobody hears.
There you go. As long as it's across the board, I'm not being singled out. I feel better.
No, but I think I figured it out. Go ahead.
So when it comes to automobiles, like electric cars, Tesla's an example, which I'm not even kidding when I say this. It's probably 70+% of the cars around here are Teslas. And the Tesla factory's down the road. I fucking hate people who drive Teslas.
It's kind of how it was in Oregon.
Just to be clear, at least here in the Southeast, Tesla drivers are retarded. Take it from somebody who does traffic control and tells them, go down this lane. Keep the cone on the left-hand side of your car. And they go down 2 cones and then cut over into the other lane. 2 Tesla drivers did that the other day.
Sunday, we were in Lafayette, and we were in a lane that only went across the street that we were stopped at for the light. It was not a turn lane. It was, in fact, a lane that said very verbosely with its signage, do not take a left turn here. This is not a turn to turn here. This is not a left turn. You're not going to get a light to turn. Just don't fucking turn here. Left signal on already.
Wait, did the sign say unless you own a Tesla?
It was a Tesla. Thank you. Yes. I could not. I was like, you can't even write this shit. You can't write this level of idiot-fuckery. Not only do I have a fucking idiot car, but I can't even read street signs enough to drive it. Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Can I be racist for a second? Like,
please don't, but if you feel the need to, it's all on you.
Borderline.
Go.
Okay.
Borderline.
So when I'm driving down the road, it doesn't even matter where it is, on the freeway or just in downtown or even in a residential area, and someone's driving way too slow and I can see they have their phone up just enough to the point where I can see it. I'm like, oh, I wonder who you are. And it's usually, and this isn't being racist, this is statistic. It's usually Asian women. It's I mean, I live in Silicon Valley, so it's just like, the law of probability here. But yes,
the opinions of Agent Baker are not necessarily those of the staff.
Are sponsored by Andrew Baker Incorporated. So when it comes to this same concept of over-unity, if you can create over-unity, which is also known as power factor, then what you can do is basically create perpetual motion, because it's the over-unity has to be going to a power source. Well, one of the places, very good that you brought up like the Teslas and shit like that, but I don't know the wiring diagram or schematic of a Tesla. I'll have to look it up, but I don't think they're doing this. So all of the wheels are going to be moving at a certain RPM, and which uses Lenz's law, and then from there it goes into Ohm's law, Kirchhoff's law, blah blah blah, whatever.
Going crazy.
And those wheels are going to be in this constant state of motion as the car is moving, and then from there it can be used. Those wheels can be used as a generator if they had an armature attached to the rotor, which is stabilized inside of something called a stator, which has these different coils inside of it. And then from there, those coils could just be wired in series parallel to the point where it will just charge up the power source. And it's basically an advanced form of an alternator. And I'm afraid if I invent this and it works, that I'll get killed. So I've been talking to a lot of people about this, and they say, yeah, there's no reason it shouldn't work. I know. I did the drawings on it and the math on it, and it seems to work. But it's not being used. So, the bicycle's getting cheaper. That's cool. 15-minute city kind of bullshit. Electric cars can only go so far. Power stations being installed everywhere. Gas prices going up constantly. So you start to see a trend on these certain things, and I have always spoken out loud about it. The energy industry is the most valuable industry in the world by far. It's worth more than gold, diamonds, and lumber combined. Probably like 10 times as much. So yeah, they don't want people stepping on their toes because it's going to fuck up everything. You know, oil, natural gas, electricity, nuclear. Yeah, it's 10 times? It might be 50 times. I don't know the exact value. But yeah, energy is, you can't fuck with it too much. I'm just kind of spitball it to you guys and see what you think. And yes, semantics are very important, Josh. Thank you very much.
So if you look at the statistics, do you think it's really a racist statement, or would you call it probably more of a sexist statement?
All right. No, I would call that semantical in regards to probability. How do I phrase that properly? Probability semantics, I think, is the right way to phrase that. It's just it is what it is. And if you're not aware of what that means, come over here to Silicon Valley, stay at my place for a week, and we'll drive around, and you'll say, oh, Andrew's not being racist. It's borderline. That's all it is. All right, that's all I have to say for the moment. Hopefully I brought a smile to everyone's face tonight. Inspired some...
So maybe it would say the women, especially the Asian ones, are more prone to traffic accidents. Is that what you're saying?
Wow.
Yes.
Not even here.
Okay, here's what happens with a lot of women in foreign countries. They are not allowed to drive. And yeah, I'm not even kidding. In some foreign countries I've been to, women are not allowed to drive. So when they come over to the United States, they don't know how to drive, but yet they can cheat on their DMV test. Oh, driver's license? Oh, thank you very much. Oh, thank you. And then from there, it's like they're on the road. Oh, their husband has a...
pass an eye test, you're in. It's kind of like high school. You don't even have to read, and you can become valedictorian. That's how the DMV works.
I saw this old guy. He must have been at least 120 years old. And his, I don't know, grandson, maybe 20 years old, was standing over his shoulder at the DMV as he was taking his test on the computer. And I was asking, like, why is he allowed to do that? Oh, because he's a translator. He doesn't even fucking speak English. They're going to give that guy a driver's license? Like, well, welcome to Silicon Valley, California, I guess. It's another rant of the night.
We're actually coming up on it.
We have done it, just about. Indeed.
For the record.
And if anybody wants to hear...
Of the women I know.
Last thing, I promise.
Of the people I know, far, far more men have gotten into accidents than the women that I know. Like, a lot. Maybe I just happen to know a lot of female good drivers, but or just that I don't know that many Asian women.
Come over here. You'll find out really quick. But if you want to hear me rant really hardcore in a few months, we're going to be doing our solo sombrero, and Rico's going to take it off. It's going to be on a Saturday night. We'll still do our Sunday night thing, but it's going to be very different. Going for as long or as short as necessary with any topics that any of us want. And if you want to hear my real point of view about things, well, I'll drop the link in and I'll let you guys know. I got a lot of stuff to cover. A lot.
I think that'll be good.
Cool. Yep.
All right, I'm
Yeah,
going
I
on.
get to go to work. Manager just asked if I could work.
Nice.
There you go. All righty. Well, you have a great day, sir.
We did a full show,
And you
too. I think it's like the first time in weeks we've done a full show with 0 interruptions or stalls or lags. So that's a thing.
We're getting it. It's only been like 10 years.
Right.
We got it.
We'll get it eventually.
One day.
But we appreciate you guys.
Yeah, it was a good day. Hope you all enjoyed it. I did.
I did too. Love you all. We'll see you back here on Friday. Until then, be good, be well,
Love ya.
do good, do it well. We love you. Bye-bye.